So I've seen a lot of videos on the internet talking about anime characters that are the most glazed. Shout out to olamasama and a lot of other creators out there talking about these characters that have so much praise from their communities that you can't say anything wrong about them. Characters like Zoro, Itachi. I would even like to put Urza Scarlet in the mix as well. But I think there's some characters we need to highlight that actually need to be glazed more. And some of these characters are not necessarily underrated, but they still need more praise in my eyes, at least. This video may contain slight manga spoilers. You have been warned. So coming in at number 1, I have Yuta from Jujutsu Kaisen. Are you kidding me? Everybody loves to hype up Gojo. Everybody loves to hype up Sukuna. Everybody loves to hype up all these other characters, and everyone is always sleeping on Yuta. Now, I'm not gonna lie, Yuta does have a solid fan base. There are people out there that scream and shout Yuta's name, but he does not get the love and respect that he really truly deserves. Yes, Rika is a big portion of why Yuta is elite, but let's not sleep on Yuta's curse technique. His ability to copy techniques is out of this world. We know he has a domain expansion. We know that he is very, very critical in the fight against Sukuna, because we can see that just right now in the manga, but even outside of the manga, if you're looking in the anime, Yuta is still one of the greatest sorcerers in the entire series just because he has so much curse energy available to him. He's up there with Gojo in terms of having unique fighting ability, and we know that he did switch training with Gojo. Yuta is on a different level, and a lot of people love to hype up Gojo and they sleep on Yuta, and I'm telling you right now, Yuta is basically Gojo light. He is a diet version of Gojo. Give him the love and respect that he deserves. He is top tier, because Gojo said it himself. If he drops out the Sukuna fight, we know who's number 2. We know who's next up, and we're seeing that as we speak. Coming in at number 2, I have the great Future Trunks coming in from the Dragon Ball series. Are you kidding me? Now, we understand that Future Trunks was able to take out Mecha Frieza. We understand what his situation was both times coming into the future from Dragon Ball Z and even in Super, right? Both series have been catastrophic for him, but what he's been able to demonstrate specifically in Super definitely requires more praise, because Super Saiyan Rage is literally a technique that made Future Trunks comparable to that of Vegito. Because remember, Future Trunks was boxing against Zamasu, the same character that Vegito was fighting with in Blue, and he was holding his own in Super Saiyan Rage. Now, it was just a moment. We haven't seen that technique after. We haven't seen that transformation after, but it still was very, very powerful. It still was a moment that needs more praise, because a lot of people love to hype up Beast Gohan right now. I'm a Gohan fan saying this, by the way. Beast Gohan is looking ridiculous. He's up there with Ultra Instinct Goku. He's up there with Ultra Ego Vegeta. He's been put in that conversation by Toriyama, God rest his soul. So now we are talking about these half Super Saiyan characters finally getting their praise, and Gohan's getting the hype, but Trunks isn't. But if we remember what Trunks was doing against Zamasu, he definitely deserves more glaze. Glaze Trunks. What are y'all doing? It's time for us to honestly understand that Trunks is in the conversation with some of the greatest in the Dragon Ball series. And granted, if the future Trunks was a part of the Tournament of Power, come on now, that would even be more dangerous for Universe 7. I'm not saying he's Goku level, nor am I saying he's Vegeta level, but I'm saying he has a Super Saiyan transformation in his arsenal that is comparable to that of a fusion of Goku and Vegeta. Give him some more love, man. Super Saiyan Rage Trunks definitely deserves to be glazed. Coming in at number 3, I have a character that is so slept on in the power scaling community because of a condition. Now, when you're looking at verses like JJK and others, they constantly talk about binding vows, making conditions, and things of that nature. Well, this specific character, even though he's not from the JJK verse, has set a condition, and you guys already know where I'm going at. I am going with Kurapika from Hunter x Hunter. He has a set Nen condition where he is most powerful against Phantom Troop members in the verse. We understand it, we get it, but that does not mean that Kurapika can't box. That does not mean he does not have techniques like Emperor's Time, where he can literally heal himself by rewinding time on the attacks and the damage that he has received. It does not mean that he's not one of the most powerful in the verse as a specialist with the Kurta clan eyes. Kurapika is one of the most underrated characters, because people say once he's not boxing the Phantom Troop, you should just write him off, and I completely disagree. He is still one of the most powerful characters in this series. First of all, how many specialists do you see in Hunter? Being a specialist alone already should put you in a different class. But the fact that he has techniques like Chain Jail and Judgment Chain and all of these other things, yes, there are some techniques in his arsenal that are specifically for Phantom Troop members, like the one where he puts the chain around their heart. But last time I checked, that's only one technique that makes him super lethal against them. Everybody else still has to watch out for Kurapika, because he still is that guy. He still has a lot more to offer, in the Hunter x Hunter verse, and you can't just sleep on him just because you're not a Phantom Troop member. I don't see where other people got that from, but that's where I'm at. Kurapika from Hunter x Hunter needs more glaze. Coming in at number 4, this character is a Straw Hat from One Piece. I've been on a record hyping him on multiple occasions. You know, seeing certain recent events, like where people have ranked him on the Straw Hat tier list and all these other things, I feel like it's no better time than now to glaze this character. Jimbe of the Straw Hat Pirates needs more glaze ASAP, because the characters of the Straw Hats that you guys glaze, Jimbe has done basically everything that they have done. If you want to talk about what Zoro has done for Luffy, elite vice captain, we love what Zoro has done for Luffy. You have nothing happened, you have him boxing Kaido against a roof and scarring him, you have all these things. There are times where Zoro has fell short, and that's where Law had to step in and all these other things, but it's okay. Zoro is here now, especially in Egghead. But let's not act like Jimbe wasn't out here helping Luffy get over a crisis mentally after he watched his brother Ace die right in front of him. Let's not act like Jimbe wasn't a huge part during the Marineford War protecting Luffy. Now, people say, well, he was only really protecting Luffy because of his relationship with Ace. It doesn't even matter if it's because of his relationship with Ace. Jimbe literally has laid his life down for Luffy and the Straw Hats on multiple occasions. Did you guys forget what happened during the Whole Cake arc where Big Mom was going after the Straw Hats and Jimbe said, you know what, you guys go on ahead, I'll hold off Big Mom? Do we really think Zoro could have pulled that off at that time? Come on, there is certain things we have to understand. Jimbe was a former pirate captain of the Sun Pirates, literally was a warlord. That's how powerful he was. A warlord, y'all. Has mastery on Fishman karate, can use haki, tanked attacks from admirals during the Marineford War, and this is somebody who swore allegiance to Luffy. Said, Luffy, you know what, even though we're in Fishman Island right now, I'll meet up with you later, just give me some time, I have something I have to take care of, next time I'll be there. And he showed up and showed out, protected them against Big Mom, who is a Yonko, literally was boxing Big Mom. And y'all have the nerve, the audacity to put characters like Tony Chopper over Jimbe? How could you? This is not a conversation about how long you've been a Straw Hat. We're not gatekeeping Luffy's loyalty here. Luffy is the one who wanted Jimbe to join the crew because he said, you know what? Jimbe's elite. Look what Jimbe has done for me. First of all, 3D2Y wouldn't even be a thing if it weren't for Jimbe. Luffy didn't even know who to turn to, where to go. When Luffy was in Fishman Island about to die, Jimbe said, you know what, Luffy, here's my blood, I got you. And y'all are sitting here acting like Jimbe's not a top 3 Straw Hat. Are you kidding me? He's put in more groundwork than half of them. Give Jimbe more glaze today. Glaze Jimbe, go for it. I don't care what. I can't take the disrespect. Jimbe is up there with Zoro in terms of loyalty to Luffy and actions. Jimbe's resume can be put up against anybody's in the Straw Hats, and he will definitely be up there. Next up, I have a character that I did not believe that I would need to talk about, but feel like the energy that's been shifting, especially during this recent season, we need to put more respect on this character. A character by the name of Shoto Todoroki, y'all. Yes, I said it. Somebody that is part of the trio of Deku, Bakugo, and Todoroki in Class 1A of My Hero Academia. Todoroki is getting heavily slept on. And I feel like it's because people have been looking at Deku, they've been looking at Bakugo saying, listen, I mean, these are the top 2 cats right now in the class. So I guess everybody else is just fodder. And I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. You gotta remember something. Todoroki is somebody that was literally made for the purpose of being stronger than All Might. That's what Endeavor's intention was. His intention was, you know what? Let me try to have a child that will be able to produce flames while not having to worry about overheating. Then Shoto pops out. And he knew right away from the moment Shoto Todoroki was born that his son has a power to surpass himself. And if Endeavor's sitting at number 2, then that means Todoroki has an opportunity to rival that of All Might. That was Endeavor's intention. Now we know Todoroki is not there yet. We know there's obviously stuff that has to happen. But when we talk about a character by the name of Dabi, aka Toya, that is Todoroki's brother, who Endeavor also had a role in destroying his life, but we understand it. Dabi can produce blue flames, which we know scientifically are hotter than the standard orange flames that we see. This is who Todoroki is boxing against. He's boxing against his older brother who can produce hotter flames than their own father, who is a number 2 hero. Well, actually right now Endeavor is number 1, but that's because All Might had to step down due to injury. That's the potential that Endeavor has set for Todoroki. Next up, I have Shisui Uchiha from Naruto. Are you kidding me? This one really hurts my heart because there was a moment in time where Kishimoto had a contest about doing a one-shot and other people were voting for Sakura and Minato and all this. This is a perfect opportunity for y'all to vote for Shisui and y'all sold. And what's crazy about this is 99.9% of the Naruto community glazes Itachi every day. I've seen Itachi being top 10 in strength, in character writing, in all of these things. Naruto fans glaze Itachi without understanding that Shisui is the reason why Itachi is Itachi. He literally is the reason why Itachi is elite. Itachi looked up to Shisui. One of Itachi's biggest moments in the series is using the Koto Matsukami. Whose technique was that? That was Shisui's. Itachi was holding on to it. Why are we acting like Shisui is not elite? Yes, he got screwed over by Danzo. Yes, that was a catastrophic moment, but we understand that Shisui is the reason why Itachi became Itachi. Why wouldn't Naruto fans want to know more about that story? I voted for Shisui in that contest. I don't know. I think I would love to hear more about Shisui's story, but obviously he got the short end of the stick in the contest, and now we have to find out about his Susanoo in video games. I mean, hey, it's not me. You know what I mean? I would say glaze Shisui. That's what I would say. Next up, we have a character that does have a respectable fandom, but it needs to be more. I'm talking about Mereoleona from Black Clover. Yes, I said it. Mereoleona is top tier. We get that she is the one that was helping Yami train. We get that she is the one that has crazy fire techniques. She's Fuegoleon's older sister. We understand all of that, but forget all of that. When things got crazy and the Royal Knights were formed, basically taking all of the best magic knights from each captain crew, Mereoleona was appointed to lead them all. Mereoleona is essentially Wizard King level, and a lot of people don't give her the praise. You hear praise about Yami, you hear praise about other characters, and I do believe characters like Dorothy and others need more praise as well, but Mereoleona is literally the gojo essentially of Black Clover. What are we doing? Let's get serious. She's top tier. Put some more respect on Mereoleona, please. And lastly, I have a character by the name of Sabo from One Piece. This one is probably going to be the most far-fetched, but it's something that I feel like needs to happen. There is a small sector of the One Piece community that has a lot of hate for Sabo. It comes from a place of loving Ace so much. You view Sabo as an Ace clone, and there's nothing that will change that. I think Oda has done a great job of separating the difference between the brothers. I think he's done a great job at showing us that even though Sabo is using Ace's form of devil fruit, he still has his own style and his own game that he learned underneath Dragon and other people in the Revolutionary Army. Sabo is one of the greatest haki masters that we've seen when it comes to armament haki strictly, because as we've seen in the Dressrosa arc, Sabo had to fight against admirals and other top tier people in the verse on his first day getting Ace's devil fruit. The first day, literally the first day. And if we understand that, we can also understand that when he had to sub in himself for Luffy in the competition, there was no slippage in strength. Sabo swapped in for Luffy and nobody said, man, this character looks weaker. Nobody. So this is why I feel like people have to understand. Sabo is Luffy's brother. Sabo is projected to be one of the greatest characters in the series. Sabo literally is the Flame Emperor of the Revolutionary Army. His commanders and his underlings are people that were helping to fight off admirals in the Holy Land. Admirals! And you have people saying, well, I don't know if he could be Zoro. I don't know if he could really hang with... What? Sabo is literally right up there with Luffy. I have Luffy over Sabo, but it's a smidge. It's not crazy. Because if we even look at Ace's projections, Ace's potential was through the roof. It was wrong place, wrong time. It's because of Ace's personality and him going after Teach that put him in his scenario where he ultimately met his demise. Sabo doesn't move that way at all. Sabo is more strategic, and as a matter of fact, he had bigger opponents trying to take him out. The Gorosei moved with the quickness. All of them transformed to try to take Sabo out. When he was on the Lucia Kingdom, Imu dropped the Mother Flame, blew the whole thing up sky high. Sabo is still alive to tell the story. People are calling calling Sabo the Flame Emperor all over the One Piece verse. Sabo currently holds more notoriety than even Monkey D. Dragon, and he's the leader of the Revolutionary Army. When you put all of that stuff together, and you look at the haki feats, and you look at what Sabo and Koala were able to do to help Robin, Sabo is one of the greatest characters in One Piece right now, and Oda himself is showing us that within the last panel of chapter 1121. Sabo's face was there. We have to start glazing Sabo more. I'm not saying you have to be a believer of Ska, which is Sabo kills a Kainu theory. You don't have to be a believer in that. But at some point, you have to say, his commanders are holding off admirals. Yes, the admirals had to hold back, but there were 2 admirals present, which means a Kainu knows how powerful he is and sent 2, and they still couldn't stop them? Before Sabo escaped the room with the Gorosei, he sent an attack after them. All 5 elders in the room, plus Imu. And Sabo said, here, there's characters that would faint in that room. We see the Conqueror's haki that War Kree is pulling out. We see the Conqueror's haki that Saturn has and others. We see how dangerous they look when they're transformed, and Sabo was in the room with all of them. And you have people questioning how powerful he is? Relax. Glaze Sabo. You don't have to have Sabo in your top 5. That's fine, we get it. But there should be no questions about Sabo fighting some of the top tiers in the verse. No questions. Sabo, he might be a 5th. Because if you ask me about Sabo versus Buggy, or Sabo versus Blackbeard, considering what Law was able to pull off against Blackbeard, Sabo's in that conversation. Glaze Sabo. Now, you guys let me know down in the comment section below whether you agree or disagree with any of these takes. Some of these anime characters need more love, man. That's all it really is. And with that, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.